Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Latifa, Siedu, a facilitator of Facilitator Academy, and I'm here to teach English language for the B3 class. Before we start our lesson, I'm going to take you through a song. Hello, 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 how are you? I'm fine, I'm fine, thank you. Mashallah, I hope you enjoyed my song, and I know you'll be singing these songs in your house. Now, from the song I just sang, what can you tell me about the song? What have you heard from the song? And what do you think I am going to talk about today, which is connected to the song? Indeed, I'm going to talk about how to ask and also answer questions. I'm going to guide you on how to ask and also answer questions. So, from my song, I asked you, how are you? And I was waiting for a reply from you. How are you? I hope you are fine. This is how to ask a question. Today I'm going to teach you how to ask a question and how to correctly ask the question. When I say correctly ask a question, I mean how to use the right pronunciation and also the right intonation in asking the question. I hope you'll be with me for this lesson. Now I'm going to give you a sentence, and with that sentence you'll learn how to find a question from that sentence. Now, assuming you saw or heard somebody saying, Accra is the capital town of Kumasi. Accra is the capital town of Kumasi. And let's say you were with a friend, and the person wanted to ask you whether it is true Accra is the capital town of Kumasi. How is the person supposed to ask this question? And what is the right verbs to use in answering this question? Now, how do you think I'm supposed to ask somebody to confirm to me whether Accra is indeed the capital town of Kumasi? Okay, so yes, the answer is, I will ask you, is Accra the capital town of Kumasi? See how I'm saying it. Look at how I'm stressing the words. This shows that I am actually asking a question. Is Accra the capital town of Kumasi? So I'm going to write it here. Now here, you have to consider the type of punctuation mark you are supposed to use. Are you supposed to use the full stop, the comma, the exclamation mark, question mark, brackets, whatever? What is the punctuation mark we use to show somebody is trying to ask a question? Yes, you use the question mark. You use the question mark. So, my question is Accra the capital town of Kumasi? I am asking you, of which I need somebody to give me a reply, but we'll come back to that later. I'm going to give you another question. Now, the sentence here is, the boys are going to the masjid. The boys are going to the masjid. I hope you all know what a masjid is what we call mosque. So the boys are going to the masjid. From this sentence, how are you going to ask somebody where the boys are going? So how are you going to ask somebody a question from this sentence? Very easy. You just say, are the boys going to the masjid? Are the boys going to the masjid? Not forgetting our question mark here. Are the boys going to the masjid? Now, I want you to look at these two questions here. What can you tell me from the two questions? Now, the first question I asked, I used is. Why didn't I use are here and I used is? And I went here, I came back here to use are. Now, when asking questions, you have to consider whether the noun is a singular or a plural. That will show the type of verb you are supposed to use in asking the question. Now, because Accra is singular, that is why I used is. Is shows singularity. Because Accra is singular, that's why I used is. And the boys here, the noun here, the boys is plural, so I used are. I hope when asking questions, you consider the number in the sentence, whether it's one person or more than one person. Well done, mashallah. Now that we've come to asking the question, we are done with asking the question. I want us to look at how we are supposed to answer the questions. I want us to look at how we are supposed to answer the questions. So far, we know when asking a question, you have to consider if it's one person or more than one, and we also have to consider using our question mark to show we are asking a question, and we also have to consider our intonation, the intonation, how we stress it to show that it's a question being asked. Mashallah, thank you. Now let's consider our answers. Now, if somebody asks a question, is Accra the capital town of Kumasi? When you are asked this question, your answer depends on what you think. Do you think Accra is the capital town of Kumasi? If it is a yes, it's very easy. You just say, yes, it is, and you are good to go. Now here, you also have to consider your punctuation mark. When you say yes, you bring a comma to show you are pausing before you write the space with a full stop. So, if your answer is a yes, you just say, yes, it is, and that's it, you are good to go. And if you think Accra is not the capital town of Kumasi, you just say, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. No with a comma, and isn't is here. And I hope you all know that isn't just means no, it is not. The isn't is just is not, but we just combine it together to say it isn't. Mashallah. Now, let's come up to the question. After we've replied this question, do you think Accra is the capital town of Kumasi? I know Accra is not the capital town of Kumasi. Accra is the capital town of Ghana, and Kumasi is a town in Ghana. Mashallah, thank you very much. Now let's go to our second question. The question is, are the boys going to the masjid? Are the boys going to the masjid? If somebody asks you this question, and maybe you saw the boys going somewhere, not the masjid, that means the boys are not going to the masjid. So your answer is supposed to be, no, they are not. No. No, they are not. Or you can say, no, they aren't, to shorten this. But if you find it difficult to say aren't, you can just use no, they are not, for it to be so easy for you. Now, if you saw the boys going to the masjid, your answer is just supposed to be yes, they are. Very simple. you get what I'm trying to say so far. You ask the question and when answering, and the punctuation marks you are supposed to use, and how you are supposed to stress your words to show you are asking a question. MashaAllah, I want to give you an assignment to do from this lesson. I want you to form 3 sentences. After forming the 3 sentences, ask questions from the sentences, and after you ask the questions, you make sure you answer them. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was so beautiful.